Thank you to our media partners who are here today. Appreciate you. This news conference is to discuss the officer-involved shooting that occurred on October 9, 2025 at the Chili's in the 400 block of South Telshore. As with all officer-involved shootings, the information, images, audio, or videos contained in this presentation may be disturbing to some people. Viewer discretion is advised. Now, to paint the picture for this officer-involved shooting, I really have to give kind of a timeline of what occurred, especially on October 9th, 2025. Starting with that morning at 10:42 a.m., a male who was later identified as Philip Mullen went into a local gun store and inquired about purchasing the cheapest handgun they had. There was an exchange with the clerk, and he ended up leaving after browsing for a short period of time. Later that day on October 9th at approximately 4:15 p.m., dispatch received a call that a male was using what appeared to be a machete to damage his neighbor's vehicles. Officers responded for the investigation, but the suspect had already left. During the investigation, they determined that Mr. Mullen damaged two separate vehicles belonging to two other residents at the apartment complex, and what appeared to be damage from a machete or a large knife. Still on October 9th, just a little bit after the criminal damage of property at approximately 6:03 p.m., multiple 911 calls were received at dispatch requesting officers to respond to the Chili's on Telshore Boulevard. The caller reported that an aggressive male subject was at the bar. They stated that he had a knife and a hammer and was trying to attack other patrons. One caller stated that he had struck at least one patron. Another caller stated that the male left the restaurant and was sitting in his car in the parking lot. And officers knew at this point that the two calls were related. The call, the vandalism, involving the possible machete, as well as the Chili's call, they had the same vehicle description, same subject description. I'm going to play for you two 911 calls. One is going to play right after the other. Just keep in mind that's not how they were received at dispatch, but just for ease of listening, one will start immediately after the other one.
What city? Yes, I'm calling from Las Cruces. And what is the address here? What please? It's 426 Telshore Boulevard. Is there a suite number?
No. It's a business. It's Chili's.
You're calling from Chili's?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me exactly what happened.
So we had a guest who was trying to start an altercation with another guest, and then he started cussing out one of my bartenders. So we passed him out and told me to leave. So then he went to the bathroom, and then when he came out, he just kind of started cussing everyone out and saying that he has contracts, and then he just left. So I'm assuming he's not coming back, but I don't know, because he's coming like every single day for the past 5 days.
Did he leave on foot?
I think he's back. He's back, and he's trying to fight.
Where is he at?
He's in the bar fighting people. Someone here ASAP.
Okay, and so he's currently trying to fight people again?
Yes, correct.
Has he hit anyone or anything like that?
Yes, he has. He has a knife. He has a knife.
He has a knife?
Yep, he has a knife.
Is he making threats with it?
Yeah, he's fighting people right now. And he's
Is he pointing the knife at anyone?
Yes. Got a knife and a hammer.
He also has a hammer?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and now where is he at right now currently?
He is in the bar.
He's in the bar?
Yes, correct. Which is like towards the front door.
Okay, alrighty. And he's hitting again?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, I have officers en route to you currently, okay?
Okay.
Don't get me back. 911, what city is it in?
Please come to Chili's West Cruces on social. Please, there's someone with a knife in his neck and a hammer. Please.
Okay, ma'am, I need to know what you're saying. What is the address?
Please, Chili's West Cruces on Telshore, please.
Okay, tell me exactly what's happening.
There's a guy, there's a homeless guy who's yelling. He has a knife. He has a butcher knife and a hammer. Please, please. Please, please. Please, 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 please,
Okay, now
please.
give me 1 second.
Please, ma'am, there's so
Okay.
many people. You have to stop.
Okay, I understand, ma'am. What is he wearing?
He's wearing a flannel jacket. He's wearing a flannel jacket, and he's riding what is he driving? A Honda? A silver Honda? And it's just pink license plate. I think he went back in his car.
What color is the vehicle?
A silver Honda, a 4-door.
Is it a car?
He needs a headband. He's back in his car right now. Please, please, please,
Okay,
please.
what kind of a vehicle is it? A car, truck, or SUV?
It's an SUV. 4-door silver Honda.
Are you able to get the license plate?
I can't because there's not, he's parked. We can't get on the back.
Okay, are you
Is this
able
the
to
dam?
now that he's outside?
Yes, we just started seeing you right now.
Okay, so is it an SUV or is it a sedan?
Yeah, the hammer and the knife. What did you ask him?
Is it an SUV or a sedan?
It's a sedan. It's a sedan. A silver Honda sedan.
The first officer arrived at 6:07 p.m. The officer contacts the male suspect, who would later be identified as Philip Mullen. As the officer asks Mr. Mullen to exit the vehicle, Mr. Mullen arms himself with a clawed hammer, steps out of the vehicle, and begins moving towards the officer. The officer can be heard telling Mr. Mullen to put his hands up or not to come any closer at least 8 times while he is walking backwards himself. Mr. Mullen continues to walk towards the officer while still armed with the hammer. They travel approximately 60 feet or at least 60 feet. The officer discharges his weapon 3 times, striking Mr. Mullen with all 3 shots. Mr. Mullen falls to the ground. The initial officer, the officer involved in the shooting, immediately begins administering aid and is assisted by other responding officers as they arrive. Mr. Mullen, unfortunately, would be pronounced deceased on the scene. Inside Mr. Mullen's sedan during a search warrant, investigators found a knife that was consistent with the one in the 911 calls, as well as a description of the knife that was used for the vehicle damage at the apartment complex. Several witnesses in the restaurant, this was about 6 p.m., so it was busy, it was dinner time, gave a similar account of what happened, and 2 patrons were victims of an aggravated assault committed by Mr. Mullen inside the restaurant. Now, before I play this, just for clarity of what we believe happened, he was at the Chili's at the bar, and argument escalates between him and some other patrons who had asked if he was okay. They saw some blood, likely from the vehicle damage and the glass. He begins yelling at those patrons. That argument ends. He goes to his vehicle, retrieves the hammer and the machete or the knife, goes back inside the restaurant, and the altercation continues where at least 2 people were victims of an aggravated assault. He then goes back to his vehicle and is back in his vehicle when the first officer arrives at the Chili's. This video will start right as the officer is arriving at the restaurant.
Step out of the car. Do me a favor, step out of the car. Step out of the car. Hey, let me see your hands. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. I'm gonna tell you right now. 962 Central 53, he has a hammer in his hand coming towards me. Put your hands up right now. Put your hands up. I'm not gonna tell you again. Don't come any closer. Don't come any closer. Don't come any closer. I'm gonna tell you right now. Get down! Get down on the ground! Get down on the ground now! Nice, 62 Central. Shots fired, shots fired. You got gloves? Nice, 62 Central. Start me fire 55, middle stop. You're good, you're good. Yeah, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm good. Yeah.
You guys have cameras when you start getting that, please?
Nice, Central. Chest of the plan.
Just needs one?
Yeah, it's three.
Here, I got it, I got it.
And we'll talk you to them, see if you get video footage. Okay, start doing CPR. I got this.
Can you tell us 5 for 33, please? And let's CPR since 70.
Is this a blue one right here? Pick up behind real quick.
Alright, ready?
Pick up behind. Nice. Log down, nice. 3 gunshot wounds to the chest. Chest a little bit high. Just need fire in the back.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. How you guys get here?
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
go here.
Show a diagram of the scene for perspective. You see where the suspect's car is and then the path of travel, approximately 60 feet to where the officer involved shooting occurs, or at least 60 feet. You see the driveway going into the Chili's is approximately where the officer was. Some still images as Mr. Mullen is exiting the vehicle. He armed himself with a hammer, see making direct eye contact with the officer. After he's exited the vehicle, still making eye contact with the officer, armed with a hammer, closing distance. It's a picture of the suspect's hammer that was recovered on scene, as well as a picture of the suspect's knife, which was recovered during the search warrant in the vehicle. Just as a reminder, the officer-involved incident task force is comprised of investigators from the New Mexico State Police, the Las Cruces Police Department, the Doña County Sheriff's Office, and the New Mexico State University Police Department. The task force acts as fact finders only. They do the investigation. Once all evidence is collected, they present it to the 3rd Additional District Attorney's Office at the conclusion of that investigation to make any determinations. At this time, we will answer the questions that we can. As I've said in the past, if it's something that we know to be a fact, we will answer it. If it's something that we're not quite sure of, we won't be able to answer it, and we'll let you know.
Okay, who has questions? Right here. If you would, please state your name, where you're from, and then ask your question.
Algernon DeMassa, Albuquerque Journal. Are you able to talk about any contact you've made with family members or any past history with Mr. Mullen?
So family members have been contacted after the shooting, obviously, and he does have a history of some mental illness. We've had past contacts with Mr. Mullen that are similar in nature. We're yelling and screaming, making threatening statements, but nothing that's resulted in an arrest here with our agency.
Questions? More? Anybody have questions? Okay, here we go. Of course, name and affiliation.
Hi, I'm Sergio Lau with KFOX 14 CBS 4. During training, when does the officer make a determination between using less than lethal force and lethal force in situations like this?
That's a pretty broad question, even in this circumstance. But as a general rule, an officer is not going to use a less lethal tool for a lethal encounter when they are by themselves. And so, if there had been multiple officers, there might have been different options, but there were not.
Okay, over here.
Chief Kevin Palomino with Telemundo. I'm curious regarding his previous criminal record. Why was he, why were those not like warranted for an arrest? Can you talk about that?
I'd have to go into every single individual incident. The ones that I've looked at so far, I mean, these are welfare checks where somebody is yelling and screaming on their porch, which could be criminal and disorderly conduct, but if it's connected to mental health, the default isn't necessarily an arrest either. So there was nothing that was so glaring that it should have been an arrest.
Questions? Here we go. Chief over here.
Nina Gallegos, News 22. When you spoke to family, were they able to provide any information on any major events that happened to Mullen prior to the incident?
They were. I don't want to disclose his medical history, but he had struggles in the past with mental health.
Okay, here we go, Chief.
Jason with the Sun News. Chief, is there a difference when an officer encounters a situation like this in a parking lot of a restaurant versus someplace where maybe so many other people may have not been members of the public around, like a crowded restaurant?
That's a very good question, Jason. Yes, and during de-escalation training, even the training that I conduct, it's a very important factor is the environment. And so whether it's a parking lot at 6 p.m. on a busy day where there's people eating versus the middle of the desert where there's no other people present, could change a lot. That one factor could change the circumstances in a lot of different situations.
Okay. Additional questions? Anyone? Going once? Twice? Okay, again, reminder that this video will be on the city's YouTube page and on LCPD's Facebook page. Chief, anything else?
All right, did you have a question?
Yeah, just a little question.
Here you go.
The people who were assaulted, do you know like the extent of their injuries or anything like that?
Now, New Mexico, an assault is generally, to make it simple, an attempted battery. So these are people who were threatened with a knife or hammer, not necessarily actually attacked, which would have been an aggravated battery. So fortunately, nobody was injured inside the restaurant.
Okay, here we go. Now another one.
Chief Paul Schultz with KBIA Channel 7. Any timeline or any estimation on how long the rest of the investigation is expected to take at this point?
I do not. Each one is different based on the complexity of the investigation. There's a lot of witnesses. The detectives have done a great job, but they still have to make sure they complete everything before they present it. Thank you all for being here this morning.